want? Who do we want? Oh, Cynthia, how you feeling? Feeling good?
Sure.
Everybody give Cynthia a big round of applause. I have to stay here for a second because this is really high step. Thanks, Cynthia. Are you sure? I feel like we do this every time.
How about I do your
shirt? Yeah, you should just do it.
Oh, give me a push. Thank you. First time that had happened. Hiccups. I think I'm going to take this off of here. If I can figure it out. Ah, there we go. Okay, apparently it used to be that some places would graduate children from grade school. And so when my father was a kid, he graduated from grade school, and his grandmother took him to the jewelry store to let him choose any piece of jewelry he wanted because she was so impressed that he had such an advanced education because she had left school in 3rd grade. And this is the ring. So this is the gift that keeps giving. The ring, because it continued his interest in education. And eventually he became a professor of theater. And every year, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, he would give, as part of his talk, his Thanksgiving talk, where he would wear this ring, and he would say to the class, "Welcome, immigrants." I know this because one year I was a student. Now, I don't know if there were ever any immigrants in his class, but definitely children of immigrants at times. And so he was so inspired by education that, of course, I grew up being inspired by education. And education just keeps getting in all kinds of wonderful ways, especially if you don't go to school necessarily to find one career that'll last all your life, but to become educated. Okay, so for instance, I'm really bad at French, but I studied French in high school, like our previous person, and I had to take a language in college, so I took French again, and I'm really bad at I'm really bad at languages. My husband's who's Spanish one time said to me, it's like trying to get the word into your head like you're a stone. But one time when I was living in Miami, I was in this drugstore, and these pharmacists were trying very hard to help this Haitian lady because she needed some kind of pain medication and something else, and they didn't speak her language, she didn't speak theirs. Now, Haiti has 2 languages, French and another that the people speak. I don't happen to know what the name of the languages that the people speak, and the Haitians don't know either, because when I've asked them, they've looked very confused because they don't know what American academics have decided to call their language. But I knew they were all taught French in school because they told me. So I tried to help out, and I managed to dredge out my French. And the ladies at the counter are trying to tell her that the cheap medication is exactly the same medication as the expensive one. So I'm able to say exactement. And la même chose. I managed to get those out enough, and she would ask me again, and I would say, oui, la même chose, exactement. And so she bought that. But then she also needed some Tylenol or something. And she didn't have enough money. She was $1 short. And I just said, she shouldn't have to be in pain for $1. So I fished out $1 and gave it to her. And then she took her things and went her way. And then the ladies at the counter gave me a discount on the things I was buying, which I don't remember what they were. I was really shocked because I wasn't expecting that, you know. I'm just trying to be a decent person. So keeps on giving. Another way it kept on giving was that right after my father died, there was going to be a competition in Boston to make computer software programs sound like a conversation. So they were going to have people line up and have a conversation with the people who would come, you know, both the computer programmers and the general public, to watch this competition. And then there were 6 or 7 of us, and then there were 6 or 7 computers that they would also have a conversation with. And then at the end of it all, they were to decide which computer were any of the computers a person. And that's called the Turing test, because he would say the fallacy, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, then it's a duck. Okay, so they were going on that idea. If it talks like a person and can think like a person, then it's a person. Well, no, but that was what the competition was about. So I was chosen, and my topic was going to be Shakespeare. And the reason I was chosen was because I knew nothing about computers. I mean, I'm talking about how I got educated, but now we know I don't speak French, and now we know I don't know about computers. And I was extremely proud that I had just gotten a computer, a Capro, and had learned the software program on it for writing, which was called WordStore at the time. And I was starting to teach myself BASIC, and I was worried that that would overqualify me for this. Those of you in the know what an absolutely silly idea that was I had in my head. But they chose me, so I was very excited. And this was going to be on television too. So my husband, one of his degrees was in film, so he's eyeing my choices. And if you wear stripes or checks and different kinds of designs, they'll strobe on camera. And then there's certain colors that you don't want to wear on camera. You really don't want to wear white, it's too blaring. I didn't want to wear black because you disappear. And there's some other, but there are other technical colors that you shouldn't wear at that time because they don't read on TV like they did if you're looking at them. So I ended up in a purple dress. So that day I ended up writing a lot of purple prose. And people would ask me things like, what is your Shakespeare play? And I was disappointed because these questions were kind of boring. So to amuse myself, I answered a different Shakespeare play every time. And they would ask me, are you familiar with Hamlet? And so you might say so. College kid goes home and finds out his uncle has murdered his father and married his mother. Well, it turned out that my answers were more computer-like. And I was voted a computer program. And I am a footnote now in math history because of this. When they went over all the transcripts of everything, at first when they were reading them, they didn't know who was the person asking the question, because my answer about the Hamlet, they thought a person asked that, and the computer just said something else. Like they would ask, they asked a question about Shakespeare and his spelling, and I thought they didn't have spelling then, wrote his name 13 times. And a way that this keeps going is that AI has probably developed from some of this work. And this means, as some of the computer experts are warning, the AI are going to take over the world. And I started it with Shakespeare. Haste to this ring, the gift that is going to keep giving me, maybe, take over the world. Thank you.